morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, July the 2nd. It is a pleasure to have you with us today. And at the other end of the studio, keeping our social distance, we have Gary Wunder, National Federation of the Blind. Good morning, Gary. Good to have you here.
Oh, it's good to be here.
Yeah. Haven't seen you in person for 4 months or more.
I haven't been doing a lot of outing. I've paid pretty close attention to the social distancing and the virus.
Yes, so have I. So have I. You know, when you get close to be 75 years old, I don't go. I haven't been going anywhere, and I haven't even had a haircut yet for 4 months. I got a mop up there and wear that mask to go to the grocery store. But now you are blind, and I would imagine there are some special things that sightless people have to deal with the coronavirus that maybe we're not even taking into consideration.
Well, yeah, I think one of the first questions we get is how do we social distance? You know, so much of what we do involves touching, and touching is the way to communicate the virus. So you got to be careful about that. You got to be careful about what you touch, not only for your own safety, but for the safety of other people. You got to figure out, how do I make sure that I'm 6 foot behind or to the side of another person?
So how do you do that? How do you know when you're out that you are keeping that distance from another person?
Well, if they're talking, it's pretty easy because then I have a sound source. If they're making some noise like pushing a stroller or something, I have a pretty good sound cue.
So you can tell that we're a little bit more than 7 feet apart here at studio. You can tell that, right?
I can tell that, yeah. I mean, I could. If you ask me, are we 8.2 feet apart or 6.7 feet apart, I couldn't tell you that. But I can tell you that we're far enough apart that we're obeying the social distancing. I know that I'm over 6 foot tall, and I know that I'm over more than 6 foot away from you. Now, I have a cane, and it's almost 6 foot long. So if my cane is touching your foot, I better back off a little, right?
Yeah. Other than that, what are some of the other situations that you have to deal with?
Well, we've had to work with people on, for instance, how do you go out and get your food? You used to go shopping with somebody by going with them, and maybe now they're not interested in going out. Maybe you're not interested in going out. So putting people in touch with grocery delivery services, with restaurants that have food delivery, with these new social media, not social media, but internet phenomena such as DoorDash and Grubhub and Delivery.com, letting blind people know how you use those things. And then if they don't have charge cards and other things, helping them out with your charge card so that you figure out a way that they still get food.
Yeah. Has this turned out to be more difficult than you anticipated when it all came into being?
Yeah, I think so. You know, sometimes I forget that technology-wise, I'm in the know. I used to work as a programmer for the university hospital, and so technology is no big deal for me. But we've got lots of folks out there, and the most complicated piece of technology they use is a telephone. So one of the things we've tried to provide are classes so that people don't feel so isolated. How do you get people who only have smartphones who only have regular phones involved in this kind of training?
So you are doing classes right now for the blind?
Absolutely. We've been doing classes that are directly related to blindness and classes that are not so directly related. Like, what good does it do to talk about blindness if what you're doing is going out of your mind by the social isolation? So we teach things like mindfulness. How do you learn to meditate? That's not a hands-on skill. Yoga. If you're really good at verbal description, that's not a hands-on skill. That can be a listen as I explain these moves to you, ask me questions. We've been using the Zoom platform, and I know there are others that people can use, and it has audio and video. So, of course, not every blind person is totally blind. Some can see a little bit. Some can watch these things on the screen. Some can be involved in describing them. We work with people on how do you most effectively use a smartphone if you have one. Did you know that not only can you talk on your iPhone, but you can use it to read print documents?
Wait, back up here. you can use your iPhone to read print documents. How do you do that?
It has a camera on it, and with a piece of software that does what is called optical character recognition, you can read most things that people write. Not actually handwriting, but printed, typed.
Will the
that sort of
Android
thing.
phone do the same thing?
The Android phone will do the same thing.
So if you either have an iPhone or an Android phone, you can download an app to read the newspapers or read a typed letter.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And how accurate is it?
Newspapers are not so much. We have NFB Newsline for newspapers because newspapers, the print can get a little difficult to read on the thin paper. But it's pretty good for magazines. It's pretty good for incoming mail. And, of course, we have other systems, too. If the iPhone can't read it to you directly, we have systems on that iPhone that can put you in touch with another human being.
Oh, Be My Eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Be My Eyes. And you know, I signed up for the Be My Eyes. I've got the app on my phone, and I'm waiting for my first call. I have not received a call yet to be somebody's eyes. Explain how that works, Gary.
Essentially, what happens is we ask for volunteers to sign up and be at the other end of somebody's camera. So when I show you a can and say, I don't know whether this is fruit cocktail or canned corn, you can read the can to me.
Right.
By just looking. And what we do is we go out and we get volunteers. And at this point, we have about 20 to 1, 20 volunteers for every one blind person. So there are folks that I call, and they tell me all the time, you're the first call I've ever
Yes,
gotten.
I'm looking right now. I'm looking on my phone. I've got the app, Be My Eyes, and I'm still waiting for a call to be someone's eyes. So you've got more volunteers than you actually have people that are needing the help, right?
Exactly.
So one of these days I might get a call.
One of these days, you might be telling me where my fruit cocktail lives.
Okay. If people want more information or they need assistance, how do they get in touch with the National Federation for the Blind?
I would call 573-874-1774.
Okay, give them that number one more time, Gary.
573-874-1774.
All right, Gary, I appreciate you coming by and sharing information with us. You're a very interesting man and a very caring person, too.
Well,
Stay healthy, both you and your wife.
I shall.
All right.
You too.
And come back again. Tomorrow, we've got Larry Brown with us. Have yourself a nice day. If there's something you would like to hear or see, I'd love to hear from you. Drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu.